I met someone. In Adrienette, Alternate Universe High School Fanfiction, Chapter 4. It's a really nice car. Adrian owns a really nice car for a boy that's only 17. Marinette has to keep herself from gaping at the nice leather and the cool features. Adrian has offered her the rights to the music, but she just chose a station on the radio. It's strangely nerve-wracking for her to be sitting here. It's slightly awkward between the two of them. He's focused on the roads and she's fidgeting with her fingertips. Thanks for the ride. Again, Marinette blurts out, her face flushing. It's a red light, so Adrian glances over and smiles kindly. Yeah, of course, he replies. What kind of friend would I be if I just left you hanging all alone? To walk. There's a jokester smile playing on his lips, and it eases the tensions in her being. Friend. They are friends. Of course they are friends. Why wouldn't they be? Still, the word makes her fingers feel all twitchy and her lips curl up briefly. They are friends. After God knows how many years of her passing him by, they are friends. I don't know, we are kind of strangers, don't you think? She says, teasing him back. Adrian chuckles a bit. I wouldn't call 5 years a stranger, he says, shaking his head. That hits her. It hits her really hard. 5 years. She's known Adrian for 5 years, or more accurately, Adrian's known her for 5 years. That means as she is currently 17, they both began schooling together when they were 12. They are in grade 5 and she had no idea he existed. The whole thing makes her head spin. How on earth did she manage to miss them back in their primary years? Sure, their high school is small, but the primaries are even smaller. It would have taken a fool to miss someone then. There lies the revelation that Marinette is a fool for not even noticing such a kind-hearted person like Adrian. 5 years? Marinette says, the shock surely evident on her features. Wow. Didn't even know it was that long. Adrian sighs. Yeah, it is the first time I'd ever been to public school, he admits. Marinette's silent, and he rightfully guesses so. Takes it as a sign she doesn't know what he means by that. I was homeschooled up until then. And then I pestered my family enough to get them to send me to public school for most hours of the day, he says. He doesn't sound bitter or resentful, so Marinette can only guess his family just wanted him to be more social. Marinette herself, being so social, can't even imagine the seclusion homeschooling must have bring. It definitely works for some people, and in some small way she envies the ability to manage on their own for so long, as she is so terribly dependent on her friends and other peers. But she doesn't envy the chance for loneliness homeschooled kids have. I had no idea what to do with so many kids my age, Adrian laughs. Really? Marinette wonders out loud. Her childhood was filled with memories at parks and schoolyards. I'm guessing you were shy? Adrian's face goes red. Like you wouldn't believe it. I was so shy. I hated going outside because I just had no idea how to approach someone and make friends. I just stood there like a scarecrow. Marinette looks at him and quirks an eyebrow up. Sure, she knows it's possible to look right past him, but now, he's no scarecrow. He's a genuinely helpful person, and not one that's afraid of asking questions. As Nino has told her before, he's not afraid to blurt out the first thing on his mind, either. Well, I hope you don't start looking for some magical wizard to give you a brain, Marinette says, trying for a joke, but it clearly doesn't work because Adrian only stares at the steering wheel blankly. Sorry, that was supposed to be a Wizard of Oz joke, but yeah, sorry, no, it wasn't that funny, she quickly adds out of embarrassment. Adrian smiles at her kindly. It's okay. It's probably more of a me problem than you. I've never seen that movie growing up or really knew anything about it, he admits. Why? She can't help herself but pry a little. Marinette curses herself for having such little self-control, but it's just she likes to know little things. Even the littlest things even about her friends, and well, since she got that giddy feeling about them being officially friends, how come? It's a great classic film my parents had to deal with me watching 5 times as a kid. I guess they just didn't like it, Adrian shrugs. Fair enough. Far from her to judge someone else's parenting methods when she's only 17. It's not long before she sees her house and tells them to stop right before the customer's parking and close, where it's closer to the back door. Thank you so much for the ride, she says as she's getting out of the car. Adrian just grins at her and reminds her that he'll be willing to give her a ride anytime. You're genuinely so nice, Marinette hums. I can't believe I didn't notice you before. Oops. That probably sounded rude. Those words had tumbled out of her mouth before she could stop it, like a cat deciding to wreak havoc in a house. There's no way of stopping them. Marinette blushes and stutters out an apology. Adrian laughs and waves his hands. Don't worry, he says. His green eyes are shining with mirth, and there's a small part of her that's incredibly proud of making him laugh like this. I didn't make too much of an impact on people. It's on me for being so shy, he explains. Well, I'm certainly glad I know you now, Marinette admits, hoping her face isn't as flushed as it feels. Bye. I'll see you tomorrow, she asks, as she's holding the door open, almost looking for an excuse to keep standing there and talk. See you tomorrow, Adrian smiles. He doesn't drive off yet, but it's once Marinette closes the door that she finally hears the soft rumbling of the car engine moving away. She's warmed by the fact that he waited till she's safely in her house before leaving. Marinette, did you have a good time with your friends today? Her mother asks. She must have smiled in a little goofy way because her mother has a little knowing smirk on her face. You did, Sabine says with a little laugh and raised brow. She ducks her head, not that that would block a mother's intuition. More than usual. Definitely, Marinette admits, feeling her cheeks go red. One of our friends was finally able to join us, and we were talking about everything and having so much fun. Oh, her mother probes. And yet you got home a little bit earlier than usual? Well, Adrian gave me a ride home, Marinette manages out. Her mother has the most mischievous look on her face that she's ever seen in her entire life, which is hilarious because, well, it's her mother. Really nice of him. Adrian, Sabine says, setting innocence in her voice. Who is that again? Gosh, Marinette knows her mother is a sly fox at times, but right now, she's really acting like a teenager. My new friend, Marinette says. She can literally feel her smile grow subconsciously, and it makes her almost want to giggle. I told you a little while about him. I did that project with him, she explains. Oh, now I remember him, Sabine says with a laugh. He's the one who gave you the idea for the school fashion show? Marinette nods. And helped you move all the boxes to the auditorium. Once again, Marinette nods and blushes. It's kind of embarrassing how long she's talked about him that day. Her mother is definitely teasing her because there's no way she forgot about the boy that Marinette gushed on and on and on about for helping her carry boxes and the genuine smile he flashes at her every other day. Maybe he looks at everyone with that interest and gives everyone a bright, heartwarming smile, but knowing that doesn't make the feeling seem any less special. Marinette's always been a helpful person, even when she was a young kid. It's different to be helped, though, as she's learned. Adrian doesn't need to go out of his way to help her, but he gave her a ride. He helped her carry boxes and gave her an idea for the school fundraiser. And just the way he smiles and the way he laughs is something that's hard for her to get out of her mind. It's bright, and it always sounds like he's having the time of his life. It's one of those sounds that make her smile without it even trying. Yeah, Marinette says in almost a dreamy voice. Him. He sounds like a nice boy, her mother insinuates. Tell him to come by and visit the bakery any time. Sabine winks, and Marinette pulls herself in her slight embarrassment up the stairs, trying to ignore the sparkling laughter of her mother down in the main living place. She doesn't bother to explain to her mom that Adrian's already been to the bakery before, but she just didn't know it, because then her mother would surely pull up the old transcript records and tease her every day about him and advising him to get macarons, also known as her favorite treat to bake. When Marinette gets back to her room, her mind is suddenly swirling with ideas. Something green. Yeah, that's right. Not too dark of a green, but not as bright and light as lime green. She bites the end of her pen, trying to think of the best way to describe it. Sighing, she gives up on trying to name it, gets on her phone and calls her online best friend and fellow fashion lover, Tiki. Sure, they lived across the country from each other, but she's still one of Marinette's closest friends. Hi, Mari, Tiki says brightly, in the middle of trimming her hair. Marinette rolls her eyes playfully. There isn't a day that goes by that Tiki isn't cutting or dyeing her hair or, just doing something. Hey, Tiki. So, I have this new outfit idea, and it's all monochromatic. Love! Yeah, but I just can't seem to describe the color. It's like nowhere, Marinette explains. Tiki nods and motions for her to begin to explain. Okay, it's like lime green or highlighter green, but it's not as jarring to, be like a kind of like a highlighter color though. It's this, there's this, how do I explain this? There's a brightness to it, but it's kind of like not overly bright because it's still kind of a dark color. It's not exactly forest green, but it's dark. It's like green, but there's a bit of white brightness, but it's not really, really bright green. Marinette babbles. Tiki looks completely lost. Where on earth did you find this color? Tiki says with a bamboozled look on her face. Marinette blushes. She swears she can see the steam rise from her face. That was the one question she was really hoping Tiki wouldn't ask. Alas, she did, and now Marinette has to suffer the embarrassment. My friend's eye color? It's just really pretty, alright? Tiki quirks up a mischievous eyebrow. A friend, huh? This one happened to be the friend you were talking about on your private Snap story, right? The redhead girl teases. Marinette's lack of an answer is all she needs to hear and know that she is in fact correct. Oh my god! Tiki laughs, almost falling out of frame, as Marinette basically shrieks. You have a crush on him, Tiki says. No, Marinette tries to prompt stubbornly. And yet, it's his striking eyes that has made her inspired enough to create a whole new line of clothes. It's his bright and kind smile that haunts her when she's about to fall asleep. It's his kindness and genuine care for his friends that clings on to her mind. The way he laughs and looks to the ground when he's in a group of people that he manages to charm. She remembers it almost like it's been put in a photograph. She's way too nervous when he's around and even darts her eyes around the hall, wondering if she'll see him again. How can she not realize she has a total and huge and kind of embarrassing crush on this boy? He's way smarter than people probably realize, and he has a huge heart for his friends. She knows she can't avoid the truth, especially not when Tiki is staring her down with a devious smirk and a silver tongue, ready to lash out if she tried denying it again. Marinette sighs and grumbles, making Tiki laugh with glee. Shut up, she says, making her laugh even harder. Now, what to do with the crush?